Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Vivekachudamani Shloka 152 Atmanatma-vivekah kartavyah bandhamuktaye vidusha tenaivanandi bhavati samvijñāya satchidanandam. The author is introducing Panchakosha Viveka. Incidentally, he is reminding of the importance of studying Vivekachudamani. He has already discussed the importance of this text. This text deals with Atma Anatma Viveka, distinguishing the Atma from the Anatma. Why one has to do Atma Anatma Viveka? It was discussed right in the beginning of the book. Yet, he is reminding it once again now, after 150 verses. Because the author feels that we may lose commitment to the study of the text. To remain committed to a sadhana, one should be convinced of the importance of the sadhana. If we are not convinced of the importance of something, we lose commitment. We don't pay attention. We don't focus. Therefore, it is necessary to remind ourselves of the importance of sadhana. And the author is doing it now. He says, Atmanatma Viveka is a very important sadhana, because that is the only way to understand the true nature of Atma. Understanding the Atma is the only way to moksha. Therefore, Atmanatma Viveka should be done To do Atmanatma Viveka, what I should do? Attend Vivekachudamani. Commit yourself to listening and understanding Vivekachudamani regularly. Atmanatma Vivekah Kartavyaha Bandhamuktaye Vidusha. Vidusha, by a wise man, a spiritually wise man. Bandhamuktaye, for being free from bandha. Atmanatma Vivekaha Kartavyaha. Atmanatma Viveka should be done. Tenaiva anandi bhavati swam vijnaya satchidanandam. Tena eva, by means of Atmanatma Viveka alone, there is eva. Tena eva, by this only means. There is no other means to understand the truth of Atma. Therefore, Tena Eva, by this means alone, Swam Satchidanandam Vijnaya, one can know oneself. This is the process of knowing oneself. What is the oneself? Satchidanandam. Sat, Chit and Ananda. That is one's true nature. To know that Atmanatma Viveka is needed. Vijnaya, having understood. Anandi Bhavati, one gets Ananda. Therefore, this is the means. Studying Vivekachudamani is the means to get Ananda, happiness. If we have to pursue something, we should know that it is going to lead to happiness. Nobody pursues anything if it is not going to lead to happiness. Happiness is the only incentive. Happiness is the only motivating factor. Will it give happiness? Will studying Vivekachudamani give happiness? The author says yes. If you are sincere, if you are committed, you will definitely find happiness. And this happiness is not like other happiness. The other happiness is temporary, This happiness is permanent, eternal. If you have to discover this happiness, pursue Vivekachudamani. This is an incidental reminder. From the next verse, he is resuming the introduction of Panchakosha Viveka. Munjadishi kamiva drisyavargat pratyanchamatmanamasangamakriyam vivichya tatra pravilapya sarvam tadatmana tishtati yas samuktaha. Atma and Anatma. These two are mixed up. Atma is the drik, the witness, consciousness. And Anatma is drishya, the object of consciousness. Drishya and drik, they are mixed up. The process of Atmanatma Viveka is to distinguish, to segregate the drik, Atma, from the drishya, from the objects. And this process has to be undertaken with the great care. One has to be very careful. How careful one has to be. The author is giving an example. This is not a new example. Same example is found in Kathopanishad. Munjadiveshikam dhairyena. There is a grass called munja. It's a variety of grass. In the middle of the grass, there is a thin stalk. A stalk which is very thin. The stalk has to be removed, separated from the grass, because the stalk is useful for some Vedic ritual. It's precious. The external part of the grass, the blade, etc., we don't need them. It has to be discarded. The stalk of the grass is used for ritual. Therefore, it has to be separated. How to separate it? Since it is very thin, if we are careless and just pull it carelessly, it may break. Therefore, one has to carefully separate it. It is a process which has to be done with the great care. If someone loses focus, he can make mistake and the stalk may get broken. Likewise, the Atma is enclosed in the Panchakoshas as it were. Mixed up with the Panchakoshas. The Atma is precious. We need the Atma. How to separate the Atma? We have to be very careful. If one is careless, there are chances of mistakes. Therefore, one has to be watchful all the time, alert all the time. Munjat ishikam iva. This is the example. Munja is the grass, ishika is the stalk. Munjat ishikam iva. Like separating the stalk from the grass. Drishyavargat. The group of drishyas. The five koshas are drishya that are mixed up with the Atma. Pratyancham Atmanam. The Atma is Pratyak. The innermost. Innermost means it is not Drishya. Drishya is external. Drak is inner. Not spatially inside. Being the witness, it is inside. Anything that is objectified is termed external. And anything that is not objectified is internal. The Atma is not objectified, therefore internal or inner. Pratyak. Pratyagatma. Pratyancham Atmanam. The Pratyagatma. Pratyagatma is Asanga, free from attachments, does not get attached to anything, does not get associated with anything. Even the five koshas, the Atma does not get attached to them. Then how does the Atma get mixed up with them? It is our ignorance. We think the Atma is with the five koshas. In reality, the Atma is always unaffected and unattached, unassociated. Akriyam. Atma does not have kriya, does not have activities, does not undergo changes. That is the nature of Atma. This Atma has to be separated from the Drishya Varga. Drishya Vargat Vivichya. Segregating it from the Drishya Varga. Distinguish it from the Drishya Varga. The five koshas. Then you understand there is Atma and there is Anatma. Before we segregate, there is only Anatma in our vision. And a part of the Anatma is taken as Atma. We have not arrived at the true Atma. The whole world in general is not aware of the true Atma. We are aware of only Anatma. And a part of the Anatma, we understand it as Atma. That is the greatness of ignorance. Now, Vivekachudamani is teaching us to understand a true Atma. What we think as Atma is Anatma. Being Drishya, it is Anatma. The true Atma transcends the Anatma. We understand there is another Atma distinct from the Anatma. Now there are two things, Atma and Anatma. Drik and Drishya. The process doesn't end there. Something else has to be done. The Anatma needs to be resolved into the Atma. Resolve the Anatma into the Atma. Anatma pravilapanam. Resolution of the anatma. It is not a physical resolution. You cannot physically resolve the anatma. It is not possible and it is not needed. You don't need to resolve the anatma physically. Then how do you do the resolution? It is in understanding. Let's take the example of a clay and a pot. Pot and clay. There seem to be two things. Clay and pot. On analysis, we understand there are no two things. There is only clay. Because the pot does not exist independent of clay. If we touch the pot, we touch the clay. There is no substance called pot. When we understand this, the pot is as good as resolved into the clay. The resolution is cessation of our perception of pot as a separate entity. Likewise, we can resolve the anatma into the atma. How to resolve? Understanding that the anatma does not exist independent of the atma. Pravilapya sarvam. Tatra sarvam pravilapya. Tatra atmani. In the atma, sarvam pravilapya. Resolving everything. Then what remains? Only atma remains. When only atma remains, where are you? You are the atma. You remain as the atma. Tadatmana yahatishtati. This person remains as the atma. In his understanding, he is nothing but atma. Saha muktaha. That person is a mukta. He has attained moksha. Dehoyamanna bhavanonnamayastu koshaha annena jivati vinashyati tadvihinaha त्वच्चर्म मांसरुधिरास्थिपुरीशराशिः नायं स्वयं भवितुमर्हति नित्यशुद्धः. Now, Panchakosha Viveka proper begins. Among the five koshas, the author takes up Annamaya-kosha first because it is the grossest. Being grossest, it is easy to understand. The teaching moves from easy to difficult, from gross to subtle. So, Annamaya-kosha. The author defines Annamaya-kosha. What is Annamaya-kosha? And then he explains how Annamaya-kosha is not Atma. This is the pattern the author will follow about all five koshas. First, he will define the kosha and then he will explain how it is anatma, how it is not Atma. Now the author defines Annamaya-kosha. What is Annamaya-kosha? Annamaya-kosha is the kosha which is made of food. Annam. Annam plus mayat. Vikararthe mayat. The affix mayat has the meaning of modification. Therefore, Anna means food. Maya means modification. Annamaya means modification of food. What is modification of food? This body, the sthula sharira. There is no difference between Annamaya kosha and sthula sharira. Both are same. When we talk about three shariras, we call it sthula sharira. When we talk about pancha koshas, it is called Annamaya kosha. Why this body is called Annamaya-kosha? Because it is made of food. It is a product of food. Dehoyam annabhavanaha annamayastu koshaha. Ayam dehaha. This body annamayaha koshaha. This body is Annamaya kosha. Why Annabhavanaha? It is born of food. Annat bhavanam utpattihi yasya saha annabhavanaha. Bahuvrihi Samasa. It originates from food. It is made of food. Therefore, it is Annamaya. The author gives a logic to prove that this body is made of food. The logic is called Anvaya Vyatireka logic. Anvaya means coexistence of presence of two. Let's say there is an X and another is Y. If X is present, Y is present. Coexistence of the presence of the two. This is called Anvaya. Then there is Vyatireka. If X is absent, Y is absent. Coexistence of the absence of two is called Vyatireka. If both are true, if X is present, Y is present is true, and X is absent, Y is absent is also true, then we can arrive at a conclusion that X is the cause of Y. Let me give an example. Mrit sattve ghata sattvam. If there is clay, there can be pot. Mrit sattve ghata sattvam. This is Anvaya between Mrit and Ghata, clay and pot. Then Mridabhave Ghatabhavaha. If clay is not there, pot is not there. There cannot be pot if there is no clay. Mridabhave Ghatabhavaha. This is Vyatireka. From these two, we can arrive at a conclusion. Mrit eva ghatasya karanam. Clay is the cause of pot. That is how the Anvaya Vyatireka logic works. The Anvaya Vyatireka logic is used to prove cause-effect relation between two things. Now the author is establishing cause-effect relation between food and body. Anna sattve deha sattvam. If there is food, there is body. As long as we eat food, the body exists. If there is no food, the body collapses. Anna abhave, sharira abhavaha. Therefore, annam sharirasya karanam. Food is the cause of the body. Therefore, ayam dehaha annabhavanaha. This body is a product of food. See the line? Annena jivati. The body lives by food. This is Anvaya. Anna sattve, deha sattvam. Vinashyati tadvihinaha. This is Vyatireka. If there is no food, this body perishes. Anna abhave, sharira abhavaha. This justifies Anna bhavanaha. Ayam dehaha Anna bhavanaha. This body is made of food. Therefore, it is Annamaya-kosha. This body deserves the name Annamaya-kosha. Now, from the second half of this shloka onwards, in the next few shlokas, the author is giving reasons to establish that the Annamaya-kosha is not Atma. It has to be told because we think this body is Atma. We refer to the body as I, Aham. I am this body. Whenever we say I, we refer to this body most often. The identification with this body is very, very strong. That is why the author has to dedicate several shlokas in Vivekachudamani to make us understand this is not Atma. The second half of the shloka gives one reason. The first reason. This body is impure. It is dirty. It's filthy. The Atma is pure, free from all impurities. Therefore, this filthy body does not deserve to be the pure Atma. How it is filthy? It is made of several tissues which are filthy. Tvak charma mamsa rudhira asthi purisha rashihi. There is tvak, membranes, charma, skin. Generally, tvak and charma are synonyms. Since they are used together here, we have to understand them as having different meanings. Twak means membrane, the layers that cover various organs inside our body. It is called membrane, like the outer cover of the heart, etc., blood vessels, etc. Is a twak. Then charma, skin, mamsa, flesh, ruthira, blood, asthi, bones, purisha, all waste products, filth. This body is a rashi, a collection of these various tissues. Therefore, it is disgusting. It does not look disgusting because of the external appearance. But if we start looking inside the body, it is disgusting. It's impure. There are so many filthy substances in this body. People who have seen dissection or surgery, they are aware of the filth that is inside the body. Therefore, it is ashuddha. The body is ashuddha, whereas Atma is nitya shuddha. Nayam swayam bhavitumarhati nitya shuddha. Ayam dehaha. Ayam Annamaya-kosha. This Annamaya-kosha nitya shuddha Atma bhavitum na arhati. This body cannot be the Atma. Swayam. Swayam refers to Atma. The Atma is a nitya shuddha, ever pure, free from all forms of contamination. This body cannot be Atma. पूर्वं जनेरधिमृतेरपि नायमस्ति जातक्षणक्षणगुणो नियतः स्वभावः नैको जडश्च घटवत्परिदृश्यमानः स्वात्मा कथं भवति भावविकारवेत्ता. The author gives further reasons to establish the anatmatva of the body, the Annamaya-kosha. Another reason number 2. Reason number 1 we have seen in the previous shloka. This is reason number 2. You can keep listing the reasons. The body has a limited lifespan. It is not eternal. It exists between 2 points of time. There is a date of birth and there is a date of death as well. Hence, it is limited in terms of time. The Atma is not limited in terms of time. Atma is Nityaha. The body is Anitya. Therefore, the body cannot be Atma. Purvam Janehe. Janehe Purvam. Jani means Janma, birth. Janehe Purvam. Before birth. Atma na ayam na asti. Ayam Annamaya-kosha na asti. This Annamaya-kosha is absent. It was not there before birth. And it will not be there after death also. Mritehe adhi. After death. Api also ayam na asti. Ayam Annamaya-kosha na asti. It does not exist. It exists only after birth and before death. It does not exist before birth and after death. Therefore, it is Anitya. Being Anitya, it cannot be Atma. Another reason. Jata kshana kshana gunaha. In this book, it is given separately. Jata kshanaha with the visarga and kshana guna is separate. But in some other books, it's only one word. Jata kshana kshana gunaha. Chandrasekhara Bharati takes that reading. Jata kshana kshana gunaha. He takes it as a single word. Kshane kshane gunaha kshana guna. Kshana kshana gunaha. Kshane kshane gunaha kshana kshana gunaha. Jataha kshana kshana gunaha yasya saha jata kshana kshana gunaha. That is the Vigraha Vakya. The idea is it takes new qualities every moment. Every moment, the qualities of the body change. It is not stable. It does not have the same appearance. It does not have the same qualities all the time. It exists after birth and before death for a limited span of time. Even in the limited span of time, it does not remain the same. It keeps changing. Every moment it is changing. Every moment, so many atoms and molecules exit the body, and so many new atoms and molecules enter the body through the process of breathing. Therefore, the body changes every moment. And every moment it is becoming older and older. Therefore, jata kshana kshana gunaha aniyata swabhavaha. Its nature is unpredictable. We don't know what will happen to this body in the next few moments. What disease will come to the body? Whether this body will survive the next moment or not, we don't know. Body is a variable. It is not a constant. It's a variable. It is volatile. Aniyata swabhava. Therefore, we have to be ready to accept the variations in this body. Naikaha. This is another reason. Jata kshana kshana gunaha can be taken as one reason, and aniyata swabhavaha can be taken as another reason. Reason 4. And naikaha, reason number 5. It is not one single entity. The body is made of so many elements, so many components. It's a composite. It's not a single entity. Therefore, it cannot be Atma. Jadascha. One more reason. It is Jada. Insentient. The Atma is consciousness. The insentient cannot be the conscious Atma. Ghatavat paridrishyamanaha. The word Ghatavat can be associated with the Jadaha also. Jadavat, Ghatavat Jadaha and Ghatavat paridrishyamanaha. Both way it can be connected. Like a pot, Ghatavat, it is paridrishyamana. It is objectified. Just like the pot is objectified, this body is also objectified. And we objectify the changes of the body also. We witness the changes of this body. The witness of the changes himself cannot have changes. The body has changes. Therefore, the body cannot be the witness of the changes. Therefore, the body cannot be the Atma, which is the witness of all the changes. Bhava vikara vetta Atma. Bhava vikara vetta swatma. Swatma means Atma, one's own Atma. It is Bhava Vikara Vetta. It is the witness of all modifications. How can the body be the Bhava Vikara Vetta? Katham Bhavati. Annamaya-kosha Bhava Vikara Vetta Atma Katham Bhavati. How can the Annamaya-kosha can be the witness of the modifications? That means Annamaya-kosha is not the witness of the modifications. Therefore, it is not the Atma. It is the one that undergoes modifications, not the one which witnesses the modifications. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.